It's the Rob Carson Show.
Hiding. Here is a 28-page document from the Southern District of New York about what? Michael Cohen and why he is a criminal. This document was meant to be brought up in court. Judge Merchant suppressed it. This is from the Southern District. 28 pages on Michael Cohen being a perjurer and a criminal. What are you hiding, Judge Merchant?
That is Seb Gorka last week in front of the courthouse in New York City, and we are graced by his presence on the Newsmax hotline after this Memorial Day weekend. Seb Gorka, welcome to the Rob Carson Show. How are you today, sir?
Very well, my friend. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you on. I know you've written this great piece for Breitbart about the MAGA manifesto. I want to get to that in a second, but today we have closing arguments after a weekend, a long weekend where none of the jurors were sequestered, where presumably it would give the opportunity for the White House to put the heavy on Michael Colangelo, etc. What do you expect today in closing arguments, and what do you think is going to happen this week?
Well, I'm not expecting very much because after the jury was sent out of the courtroom on Tuesday, we stayed in there and we watched the defense team and the prosecution present their final requests for how he will give his instructions to the jury. And we were there for several hours, and there were about 30 different modifications, requests concerning the charge sheet. And only one of the ones from the president's defense team was potentially accepted. All the others were rejected. Every single request from the prosecution team was agreed to by the judge. And at one point, the president's attorney stood up to say something from the microphone. And in front of us, the witnesses in the courtroom, he said, "Sit down. I don't want to hear from you." So the U.S. Constitution basically doesn't exist in Juan Merchan's courtroom.
And Joe Biden is being prepped to speak when the verdict is announced, and presumably if there is a guilty verdict, he is going to officially christen the term Donald Trump accused felon, or I should say convicted felon. I don't think it's going to resonate at all. Don't think it matters to anybody who showed up in the Bronx last week. I don't think it's going to matter to anybody who showed up at the largest campaign rally in New Jersey history. What do you suppose it will mean to people other than the mainstream media if there is a guilty verdict in this case?
Well, I actually disagree with you. I think it does matter, and I think it will make the president even more popular. Why
Yes.
are 100,000 people coming out for him in New Jersey? Why are you having 30,000 come up to him in the Bronx? Why is a little black kid in Harlem beginning to chant outside the bodega when the president drops by, "We love you, Trump"? Why is a firefighter on a hot microphone as President Trump is delivering pizzas to the firehouse? Why does he say, "Save us, Mr. President"? Because they see through all of this. They see this as political persecution dressed up as prosecution. So, this is the nice thing about the left. They're evil SOBs, but they're also really stupid. They should have learned by now that every time they attack him, every time they lie about him, every time they bring a new indictment, he actually gets stronger. That's how moronic these people are.
Yes. The Bronx rally, it was interesting because I was just amazed by it, and a lot of people focused on the crowd size. They said there was going to be 25,000. There were only 15,000. I'm like, wait. It doesn't matter if it was 1,000 people. Did you see the crowd? Did you see who made up the crowd? Did you see the joy? Did you see the seismic shift in the demographic of the Republican Party? And by the way, the direction of the Republican Party. Gone are the Dick Cheney, George Bush, Mitt Romney days. That is in the rearview mirror of the party. So I think that the Bronx rally was more telling and terrifying to the Democrats, and I don't even know if they know what it means, but I've never seen such a seismic shift, particularly by people of color who've never strayed from the Democrat plantation, unabashedly shredding the Democrats and supporting Donald Trump. I think it's epic.
The figures, just the raw statistics, are truly stunning. The fact that, the Democrats who say, we're here for the little guy, we're here for the minorities, the minorities are leaving. The current figures have President Trump winning the majority of the Hispanic vote. We have, this is preference, not, voting figures, but we have upwards of 28% of the black population supporting President Trump. If that proclivity actually turns into votes, that's it. The Democrats are done. I mean, we don't take anything for granted, but if a third of black Americans don't vote for the Democrats, then their political plantation is finished.
I just saw a story this morning that 54% of Democrats want to lose Joe Biden as the candidate. It surprised me that the number is that low, but it mentioned some other Democrats who could possibly step in: Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Seb, I think this is bigger than leaving Joe Biden. I think it's leaving the Democrat Party. People showed up to see Joe Biden or Donald Trump in the Bronx, not just because it was Donald Trump, but because they are leaving the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party, no matter who they put in as the candidate, I don't think it's going to make a difference, because people have seen the abuses and usurpations of the Democrat Party and the deep state working in concert. And I think the Democrat Party either has to completely reinvent itself after the election or fade into the rearview mirror of history. What are your thoughts on the Democrat Party versus Donald Trump and Joe Biden?
The only way anything will happen, anything will change in the Democrat Party is if they have a crushing, an utterly crushing defeat on November 5th. But this is a party of radicalists. This is a party of people who hate America. This isn't JFK's party. This isn't Scoop Jackson's party. This is a party that's happy with Rashida Tlaib, with Ilhan Omar, as voices of the party. This is the home of anti-Semitism and America hatred. So the only way that gets fixed is if every single one of your listeners gets politically engaged and President Trump has a massive blowout victory. But it's up to us.
But it is interesting that both parties have had to go, or at least the Democratic Party will have to, but the Republican Party is in the middle of a complete change from what it has been. The Republican Party forever has been the party of hold your nose and vote. Mitt Romney was the whitest candidate in the history of Republican politics, and that party was not present in the Bronx. It was not present in New Jersey, where 100,000 people showed up. It is epic and gigantic. There are still forces in the GOP, the Paul Ryan wing of the GOP, who are trying to hang on. And we still have to, and we still got Larry Hogan running in Maryland, et cetera. But this has been a gigantic blow to both parties, and business as usual, wouldn't you say?
Oh, look, I said this when I was in the White House. I said it after I left the White House. Donald J. Trump won the election despite the GOP, not thanks to the GOP. Yes. For the longest time, the establishment Republican Party thought that this is an anomaly. Donald Trump will disappear, and then we can get back to usual and then footsie under the table with the Democrats. That's all changing. Look at the Mitt Romneys of the world, the Kinzingers, the Liz Cheneys, who have either been primaried out of existence or are just such cowards that they won't run again. So with Lara Trump at the RNC, with MAGA in ascendance, the America First stamp of President Trump has been truly, truly indelibly marked on the party. But we have to win on November the 5th. Yes. Otherwise, the radicals who hate America will continue with their insane agenda. Look, even if they only did half of the things they promised, lower the voting age to 16, pack the Supreme Court, redistrict America, you heard the Chuck Schumer cut that we have to naturalize all the illegals. If that stuff happens, you can kiss America goodbye.
Yeah. Now, you put together this great piece for Breitbart about the MAGA manifesto, and I've seen these are great, by the way. Secure and free elections obviously needs to take place, and also obviously with regard to a vice presidential candidate, they're going to have to adhere to these as well. But why don't you tell us about some of the must-haves that must go along with the MAGA manifesto, Seb Gorka?
Yeah, you can see this Breitbart. You can see this on my Substack. I just wanted to put a list out there of the non-negotiables that we have to keep ahead of us for the next 5 months. So secure and free elections. Every one of your listeners has a role to play. There's a reason that my wife, who hates politics, is not only the recently elected chair of the GOP for the largest county in the Commonwealth of Virginia, she's also the chief election officer in our district. So, get involved, get engaged. We have to re-elect President Trump. We have to, reinstate rule of law. We can't have judges like Juan Merchan as political, hitmen for the Democrat Party. Any judge that's acted as a political tool has to be impeached by Congress. They have that power. Yeah. Most people don't know that, but they have that power. We have to rebuild the military. We have to protect American companies, seal the border, re-engage aggressive tariffs against our greatest strategic foe, which is, of course, the communist nation of China. We have to punish any universities which discriminate based upon race or ethnicity and remove their non-profit status. So these indoctrination mills start to behave as American institutions. And then we have to get, a grip of the deep state and get rid of the political actors inside the FBI, the DOJ, the intelligence community, effect presidential pardons for all the people persecuted under the January 6th indictments, and on and on and on. I won't read the list, but it's at Breitbart.com. But people need to understand the stakes involved and what we have to accomplish if and when, God willing, we re-elect President Trump.
Yes. One other thing, I saw some buzz about the possibility of Sarah Huckabee Sanders as the VP choice, and all of this is farcical at this point. One thing that I would require, other than adherence to the MAGA governance rules, is that you have to acknowledge that these 4 indictments have been political in nature, and that would eliminate people like Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. Well, there are other myriad reasons to disqualify Nikki Haley. What do you think of that, and who are your top 3?
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. I just don't know how you enforce that. Who's going to say that? Are you going to force the RNC convention to have people make a verbal oath to that effect?
No.
I'm not sure.
I'm just saying let their actions speak louder. Ron DeSantis did not even talk about the injustice of these, and neither did Nikki Haley. That's why I say that. That's why I think if they were willing to put their wants and needs for the presidency ahead of saying what is right, knowing that these are political persecutions, that would disqualify them personally. But that's why I brought up that.
Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis have no place in any Trump administration.
Yes.
I wouldn't let them make the coffee in the West Wing. I mean, Ron DeSantis has a deficit of honor, and Nikki Haley is a rhino who encouraged Democrats to vote for her in the primary. So no, absolutely. Who do I like? I love Lee Zeldin. I love Ben Carson.
Yes.
I love Byron Donald.
Yes.
A lot of great choices out there.
Well, certainly
no rhinos and nobody who didn't stand with the president.
Well, certainly a deeper bench than the Democrat Party has. Seb Gorka, thank you very much for being on the show today. I really appreciate the Gorka reality check. I lift sound bites from you all the time. Just thought you should know.
Good. God bless. Check out the website and the Substack, sebastiangorka.substack.com.
All right, God bless you, brother. We'll talk again soon. Let's take a break. You were listening to The Rob Carson Show.